The House of Representatives has officially confirmed sweeping changes to the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, a wide-reaching federal proposal that has sparked both excitement and controversy across the nation. On the evening of the 22nd of June, 2025, lawmakers voted to pass key amendments that reshape how the federal government handles economic relief, senior support programs, and middle-class tax credits. The bill, which had been stalled for months due to partisan disputes, is now entering its implementation phase, setting off a wave of changes that will touch the lives of millions of Americans, especially those living on fixed incomes, retirees, and working families struggling with persistent inflation. At its core, the revised Big Beautiful Bill focuses on strengthening three areas that lawmakers describe as the pillars of stability: direct support for older Americans, targeted aid for working households, and new oversight on federal benefit systems. For Social Security recipients, this means a clearer structure for benefit adjustments tied directly to inflation rates rather than political negotiations. Lawmakers confirmed that the new formula will allow for mid-year recalculations when inflation exceeds 3% for 2 consecutive quarters, ensuring that monthly payments remain more aligned with real-world costs. For a retiree living on $1,800 a month, this could mean an increase of up to $120 by the fourth quarter of the year, an adjustment that may not sound life-changing, but could cover groceries, prescriptions, or rising utility bills that have quietly eaten into fixed budgets. Another major provision addresses prescription drug prices, an issue that has long burdened older Americans. Beginning in January 2026, the bill allows Medicare to negotiate directly with pharmaceutical companies for up to 50 essential medications, including insulin, blood pressure drugs, and cancer treatments. This is projected to save seniors an average of $700 to $1,000 annually. The House Budget Committee released a statement emphasizing that these savings will not only reduce out-of-pocket expenses, but also stabilize the Medicare Trust Fund for the next decade. For a 72-year-old living in Ohio or Florida, the difference could mean choosing treatment without sacrificing other necessities like heating or transportation. In a surprising addition, the Big Beautiful Bill includes a new middle-class relief credit designed to offset higher living costs for Americans earning between $35,000 and $100,000 annually. This credit will be issued automatically through the Internal Revenue Service, eliminating the need for complicated filings or separate applications. Eligible households could receive up to $2,400 per year, divided into quarterly installments. This change marks one of the first attempts to create an ongoing support system that adjusts with inflation, rather than relying on temporary stimulus checks like those distributed during the pandemic years. The bill also establishes a federal oversight panel to monitor benefit fraud and payment errors, particularly in Social Security and disability programs. While some critics fear this could lead to stricter reviews and delayed payments, lawmakers insist the focus is on modernizing verification systems rather than penalizing recipients. The Department of Treasury will roll out a digital verification process beginning in August 2025, allowing beneficiaries to confirm eligibility securely through online or telephone options. This change aims to reduce overpayments, which have exceeded $12 billion annually, while safeguarding legitimate benefits for those who depend on them most. For veterans, the updates include an expansion of the Veterans Housing Stability Grant, increasing annual funding from $600 million to nearly $1 billion. This initiative will provide more flexible rent assistance, utility relief, and home adaptation grants for disabled veterans. The adjustment follows reports of rising homelessness among veterans, particularly in California, Texas, and New York, where housing costs have surged beyond what standard stipends can cover. By the end of 2026, the program is expected to help at least 200,000 veterans maintain stable housing, a goal that many advocates have called long overdue. Another deeply debated change in the Big Beautiful Bill centers on tax reforms. The legislation eliminates certain corporate deductions introduced in 2017, redirecting the recovered funds toward expanding earned income credits for lower and middle-income families. Lawmakers estimate that this shift will raise approximately $90 billion over 10 years without increasing individual tax rates. Supporters argue that the move corrects an imbalance that allowed large corporations to reduce their tax burdens while ordinary citizens faced growing financial pressure. Opponents, however, warn that these corporate changes may slow job growth or investment, though the Congressional Budget Office projects minimal long-term impact on employment rates. Perhaps the most personal and immediate effect of the bill will be felt in local communities through a new home energy assistance expansion. Beginning in December 2025, households earning under $60,000 per year will automatically qualify for seasonal energy credits, ranging from $350 to $700 annually. These credits will be applied directly to utility accounts to help with heating and cooling costs. In states like Michigan, Maine, and Pennsylvania, where winter bills can skyrocket, this measure could bring welcome relief to older homeowners trying to manage fixed retirement incomes amid rising utility rates. Economists are calling this legislation one of the most ambitious domestic policy shifts since the Inflation Reduction Act, but unlike its predecessors, the Big Beautiful Bill takes a distinctly pragmatic approach. Rather than relying on large one-time cash infusions, it establishes mechanisms that adjust automatically with economic indicators. This means that if the cost of living continues to climb, so too will the relief measures built into the system. It is a forward-thinking model that aims to reduce the need for emergency congressional debates every time prices surge or wages stagnate. Still, uncertainty remains about how efficiently these changes can be implemented. Federal agencies are under pressure to update systems that were designed decades ago, many still operating on outdated technology. The Social Security Administration, for instance, has pledged to modernize its digital payment systems by mid-2026 to handle new indexing mechanisms and faster recalculations. Treasury officials acknowledge that it will be a challenging rollout, but one that is necessary to bring fairness and flexibility into a system that millions rely on daily. For ordinary Americans, the passage of this bill represents both hope and hesitation. Hope that finally, federal programs might adapt to real economic conditions instead of political calendars. And hesitation because history has shown that implementation often lags behind promises. A retired teacher from Arizona earning $2,000 a month may wonder when the first inflation adjustment will arrive. A disabled veteran in Texas may question whether new housing grants will be accessible without months of red tape. These are valid concerns, and they underline why staying informed is more important now than ever before. The House leadership has stated that progress reports will be released quarterly, beginning in October 2025, to ensure transparency and public accountability. Citizens are encouraged to check official government websites for updates and to verify any information they receive about new benefits or credits. With misinformation spreading rapidly online, especially about supposed bonus checks or instant payments, credible sources remain essential for avoiding confusion and fraud. The passage of the Big Beautiful Bill marks a turning point in how the nation approaches financial stability, fairness, and support for its aging population. It is a reminder that even amid political division, meaningful progress is still possible when policy is guided by data and compassion rather than rhetoric. Whether you are retired, still working, or caring for an aging loved one, these changes will touch your life in some way, perhaps not overnight, but steadily, as the provisions take hold in the months and years ahead. Sharing accurate information and supporting awareness within your community can make a real difference, especially for those who might not have access to digital updates or financial advice. If you find value in staying informed and understanding how these new laws affect your household, liking this video and subscribing to the channel helps ensure that you never miss important updates that impact your future, your family, and your financial security.